Hello and welcome to another episode of Kira Rising. My name is Kira Xiang, and I am bravely coming to this recording with you without eyebrows and eyelashes. I did put on some other makeup, but I wanted to show the extent of the hair loss I've been going through. And it's definitely vulnerable to do that. Um, yeah, yeah. I look like a cancer patient. It's like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I wanted to be vulnerable and boldly show this in my own way. Um, yes, it's like a blank canvas for me to do all kinds of different makeup styles. So that's fun. Um, Not crying, just have allergies. So, yeah, yeah. Today's update is hard for me to share. Um, I feel like I'm finally ready to share more of what's going on with my health and what's the treatment plan. Because I've done some time to process and digest uh, what is the next steps. um, so I have had a break from chemo. Let's see, let me check the calendar when I was supposed to have the last one. Uh, I was supposed to have my next infusion on the 21st of May. Um, but I didn't because on the 15th, I saw my oncologist, um, went in person, and he was just like breaking down the options for best standard of care for me with regarding to this type of cancer, high grade serous carcinoma of the ovary and peritoneum. Um, and that is at stage 2B. So the great news, the CAT scan came back clear. That is great news. Doesn't show anything that's abnormal from like right here down to like my pelvic region. So that's just wonderful, encouraging, affirming news that I'm going in the right direction. And he broke down, okay, what are the options? So, um, he said that the best standard of care is to go forward with a full hysterectomy. And I mean a full one. And you can look that up on your own on Google because I am not in a place to describe all that for you. Sorry. It's also really vulnerable to share that I have to have a hysterectomy because here's the thing. I think women in general are still coming to a place where they can speak openly about health issues, women's health issues, um, regarding everything from menstruation to menopause. And there's such a lack of communication for women to share with women, to teach women what to expect and how to navigate different things because I think there's so much shame tied to it on a primal level. I mean, that's my opinion. Like it's supposed to be hush hush and you don't talk about it because it's not polite society or something like that. And I think that's such a sad thing because it's like we're missing out on really being a support to each other and like normalizing that this is a natural thing women go through as they age. But yeah, so I mean, I know I've digested. So I've learned this since the 15th. It's now the 2nd. It's been over 2 weeks of me being able to like digest this information. So of course was immediate loss because like everything's going to be removed, including my uterus. And there's a loss there of like, I've never been pregnant and now I will never be pregnant. It's just not scientifically possible. Um, so there's a loss of never going to be able to experience that. And then, just having to come to terms with being different in an additional way. Um, Not being able to experience what it would be like for Richard and I, my husband and I, to like have that real intimate personal experience of me going through a pregnancy. Um, and so it is a loss. And it does come with how now there's even deeper reliance on my God to provide for surrogate and provide the money for hiring someone to be gestational surrogacy, because we have the embryos. We don't need any eggs. We just need the oven. um, and that's going to cost anywhere from 200 to 300,000. As quick Google research, so that's, an undertaking, but I've already been undertaking the insurmountable amount of whatever you would like to name it of hardship in life. So I don't think it's going to be anything different than I've already been going through. It's going to take hard work because I will be starting a different GoFundMe specifically for that. And then writing out my story, and, promoting it more openly, I guess, and reaching out to organizations, cancer organizations, and then even celebrities, who I would feel were aligned in like supporting someone with cancer to, you know, have a child. And so, yeah, that's a huge, deep reliance, surrender, and big step of faith to make that happen because, I'm very spiritual. I have a very big relationship with my God that I know. And I just think, why would my God make it happen for me to have these two embryos from 4 mature eggs after one episode of IVF that lasted a week and a half? Like, the chances of these things, the ratio of percentage of actually happening that way to get to healthy embryos is pretty astronomical if you really look at it. So why would they come into existence, these embryos, if they were not to become the chance to have the people, So I am growing my faith in that and surrendering, trusting, taking risks of faith with that. So, in the right timing, I will start that GoFundMe and have the story spreading up and reaching out to celebrities and, you know, um, yeah, just opening doors, helping open doors would happen to that. Yeah. Um, so there is a heaviness on my heart with the reality I'm facing. Um, there is another part of me that, if I dare say, am relieved that I won't have to go through pregnancy. Now, 'cause, you know, women have been telling me that it's not much to miss, apparently, with all the hardship it comes with. But yeah, as a kid, I never looked forward to the whole birthing process. I was like, gosh, I never want to have to go through that. That sounds absolutely terrible and terrifying. And yeah, no, And that never really went away from me. I came more to terms with it, with the possibility of it happening when, Rich and I got together. Um, just be like, okay, I can overcome my fear of giving birth for the sake of having children, of course. But now, as I'm grieving the loss of never gonna be pregnant, I'm also looking at the opportunity to lean into the positives of like, now I've been spared to have to do birth, you know? Um, and now I don't have to go through the body changes of like the whole birth, being pregnant and stuff like that. So, it would be, unbalanced if I didn't also pay attention to the positive parts of this. And I think it's healthy for me to lean into the positive aspects of this as well. While not ignoring the losses and the grief, it's just kind of like, how do I cope with this? Um, and some women who are maybe some people who are watching this, or they would think, well, how are you going to feel when you see pregnant women, or if your friends or people become pregnant and you see them, go through the pregnancy stages, or you are seeing mothers with young children or babies, and um, it has been hard already over the past 5 years because Rich and I have been actively trying to build a family for the past 5 years, and it's already been difficult. And but before I knew I had cancer, before I knew I had to go through the hysterectomy, um, it was about like, well, the unknown of like what's stopping me from becoming pregnant was worse. They get worse. It was like, what's wrong with me? Um, why am I not being able to have children? There's a lot of shame in that, like feeling like these defective, uh, I'm being open about this, what I'm really struggling with. But there's another part of me that is like compassionate about me feeling those things, and patient and gentle toward myself for feeling and thinking those things. I don't anymore, because now I know what is going on, and this is so out of my control. This is not my doing that this has happened to me. And so I don't feel shame. I don't feel defective anymore. I just feel like another human being that has a different path than the majority of people, I think. So I don't know that. I don't know. Yeah. Um, so now, having digested and processed and come to a place of acceptance and looking at the positive part of this, as of right now, when I see pregnant women or mothers with young babies, or hear people are becoming pregnant, maybe there's a bit of sadness come inside of me. There's a little bit of a heaviness on my chest or things like that. But at the same time, I'm okay. And I can be happy for people and recognize that that is their process, that's their path, and that's still good. That their path of becoming mothers and being mothers is good, and mine is good and doesn't change in quality at all, or worth or value. So there's like a level of understanding that I'm not less than just because I have a different way of becoming a mother. So there's a huge healing in that over the last few weeks, that I'm not less than. And what I'm going through doesn't make me less than. Um, yeah. And feeling sadness come up but also gratitude that I'm into this place of like knowing I'm not less than now and feeling it. Um, the gratitude and the sadness, the grief that I had been dealing with that for so long. Right. All right. Changing topics. There's this when someone has a full hysterectomy, there is um, something that happens, something that likely happens after the surgery. It's called surgical menopause. So that means that usually when someone has a full hysterectomy, they experience a powerful oncoming of symptoms of menopause, this full straight menopause, no perimenopause, no gradual menopause. It's just full stop, truck hits you with all the symptoms. And that includes hot flashes and mood swings, apparently, because there's a hormone imbalance. Like a, imagine, let's see, imagine, how can I relate this? I can't think of anything except with water or light. So imagine um, you haven't drank water for 2 weeks, or you, uh, I guess, I don't know. It just, what is something that your body needs when you don't have it right away, like anymore on a sudden level? Yeah, it's gonna be intense and extreme. Other women have told me that so they haven't felt mood swings or they didn't have an experience of this. Surgical menopause is strong, and that's I'm hopeful for that. And yes, there's the opportunity to take hormone replacement therapy, um, as long as like, of course, it's not going to affect cancer growth. And I don't think my oncologist said that that's not likely since it's such a low dose. But said he wants me to wait and see how I manage or how it affects me before prescribing hormone replacement therapy. So, yeah, more hardship to come. And as I said in my last video about emotions, mood swings are emotions. Even in my brain right now, when I come across the term mood swing, there's such a underlying stigma of belittling, dismissing. It's not important. It's not valuable, or it's just so easy to get over or to work through or whatever it is. It's so unfair. It's so unfair because mood swings are, in a sense, out of that person's control in a lot of different senses, in a lot of different circumstances, including with mood disorders and menopause, perimenopause. So, like, even now, I'm like, there's a part of me that unfortunately is instinctually downplaying, dismissing, or belittling that idea of mood swings. And I want that to change to honor and respect that emotions will get high and intense and will affect the way the body feels in a very extreme way. And that to have compassion on that for myself to move through it with patience, with, again, compassion, with kindness toward myself. And if I do things impulsively based off of having this intense emotions, to not be hard on myself for that. Um, yeah, I'm kind of scared to go through that experience because I've been through mood swings before, but I didn't know if they were intense. And the way that people have described, or what research have described mood swings are, it's like a little scary. I don't want to be out of control, and who does? um, at the same time, I have been growing this mindfulness practice over the past few years. I would say at least 3, at most 4. And it's about being with yourself as your body feels, as your mind thinks, as your emotions are, and not try to change anything. Just let it be because it is already. Let your body feel, let your body be, and accept it, recognize it, be with yourself as you're going through it. That's what I see mindfulness as. And then you're able to stay in the present moment and fully live in the moment that you have and enjoy being alive because it's all you have. There's this book that I love so much. I highly recommend it. It's called Full Catastrophe Living by John Kabat-Zinn. It's an audiobook that you can get for like $14 on Spotify or whatever. And he does the reading himself. And it's like you're listening to your grandfather tell you the wisdoms of life as he knows it. And it's just wonderful. I highly recommend it. That book I started listening to at least a few years ago, and it really helped me understand that life comes with catastrophe, and full catastrophe, in fact, and how to live fully, even through a full catastrophe that you cannot stop, cannot control. And it's got me to a place where I am now, for sure, of being able to live fully through this season of having cancer, going through cancer treatment, dealing with all the losses and changes that my body is going through, and how it affects my future, and my present, and yeah. So definitely recommend it. This video is getting to longer than I wanted it to be because, yeah, but it comes with a lot to be said. um, yeah. So that's kind of what I know now so far. The surgery is scheduled for July 9th. Of course, we'll be taking some medical time off to deal with that. And um, yeah. And then after I recover from the surgery, then I will resume chemo, which will be 3 more infusions that are 3 weeks in every 3 weeks. So I don't know when the start date would be to resume that yet. Um, yeah. So waiting to see how things all turn out. Um, yeah. Mm. There is some other good news. Um, so I did find a support group, gynecological cancer support group, through the City of Hope. It's free for the community. They also have other support groups for medical issues that are available for free to the community. If you ever want to go to their website, I'll probably put a link somewhere over here, uh, so you can access it, or if you type it in over, I don't know. I could put it into the description of the video as well. So that's been really nice. They meet like every 2 weeks. And that was really affirming, because it showed me that I'm on the right path with having a full hysterectomy, because there's such a risk for the cancer to come back and get worse. And I heard my oncologist say that, but I heard these women tell me that too, because they're living through it right now, where they didn't have a full hysterectomy. They're still dealing with cancer 14 years later. No, hold on. 16 years later, and 30 years later. And yeah, So that was really good. And then another good thing is I found out that there's this Make a Dream camp for women with cancer. And there's this 1 week specifically for women with ovarian cancer. And there's a whole application process I did like maybe 2 months ago. And I found out a couple of weeks ago that I got approved for free tuition to go to this camp. And it's in September. And it's also in Missouri, Montana. So that's cool. Um, Hoping that everything gets aligned for me to go to that. I think that'd be super encouraging, even though it'd be hard because I was sitting in a bunk and, in a cabin with other women and like, oh man, I like my own space. And I have a hard time sleeping in new places, but I think it'll be good to be a part of, surrounded by community for a few days. So that's a good thing that happened. Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm looking at my desk and looking at the positive things that I want to show you. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. I have too many positive things to choose from. Okay, I have one. I don't know what the stone is actually. I'm so sorry, but I should know that. I found this at a goth market. And of course, I needed to get this because it's light blue and I love skulls. I know contrary, it's very contrary for someone to like skulls for some reason. I drew this one, love this. I have it right here so I can see it all the time. I don't know why. I think one of the reasons I love skulls so much is because we forget we have these, that we look like this without our flesh. And that also, I don't know, just gives me this feeling of reverence for death, like value for when that makes me value life all that much more. Anyway, for this specific skull out of the stone, um, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but yeah, you can slightly because it's a little blurry. But right here, there is like this line over here, and that is on the left side of the brain, or the skull that holds the brain. And that is like the left side of my brain has brain damage from, the lack of oxygen that caused my cerebral palsy. And so I saw this and I was like, "Oh, that marking there really speaks to me." And so it was just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of, when I see this, it kind of makes me feel like, oh, connected somehow to myself more when I see a visual representation, metaphorical, symbolic representation of um, my brain damage, and seeing that it's just like not the whole me, it's just the part of me kind of thing. So yeah, this is one of the things that has brought me joy, that's on my desk that I can look at whenever I want and remember to love myself completely. Yeah. Okay. Well, this video got long. I appreciate you staying here as long as you did. I'm going to spend time now editing this video and making sure I can try to get it out today or by tomorrow. Ish. Okay. I hope you have a great day and that you love yourself. I love you. Take care. Bye.